I always knew I was adopted, my parents told me when I was 5, explaining how they'd chosen me specially, how I was their miracle after years of trying to have a baby. It was our family's beautiful origin story until I needed a kidney at 28 and everything fell apart. The genetic kidney disease came out of nowhere. One day I was training for a half marathon, the next I was in the ER with kidney function at 15%. The doctors said I needed a transplant within months. My parents immediately volunteered to be tested as donors. Don't get your hopes up, my nephrologist warned. Adoptive parents rarely match. We'll need to look at the donor registry. My mom exchanged a strange look with my dad. We should still try, she insisted. 2 weeks later my doctor called with shocking news. Your father is a perfect match. 6 antigens, identical blood type. Heard it's remarkable. This kind of match typically only happens with biological relatives. I laughed it off as incredible luck. But when I told my parents, their reaction wasn't joy or relief. My father turned pale. My mother burst into tears and left the room. That night I overheard them arguing in hushed voices. We have to tell her, my father kept saying. She's going to find out when they do more testing. The next morning they sat me down at our kitchen table, the same table where they'd helped me with homework, celebrated birthdays and comforted me through breakups. My mother's hands trembled as she reached for mine. Sweetie T, here's something we need to tell you, she began. You are adopted, but your father is your biological father. The room seemed to tilt. I stared at them, waiting for more explanation. It came in painful fragments. 30 years ago, my father had an affair with a coworker. When she became pregnant, she didn't want a child but agreed to carry to term if my father would take full custody and never contact her again. My mother, devastated by the betrayal but desperate for a child after multiple miscarriages, agreed to raise me as their adoptive daughter. We thought it would be easier this way, my father explained, his voice breaking. If you believed you were chosen by both of us, not just the product of a mistake. A mistake? I repeated. Is that what I am to you? My mother shook her head fiercely. You were never a mistake to me. You were the child I'd been praying for. I just couldn't bear the thought of you looking at me differently if you knew I wasn't your biological mother. I left their house that day and checked into a hotel. I needed space to process 30 years of lies. The adoption papers they'd shown me throughout my life parent carefully crafted fakes. The stories about choosing me parent elaborate fiction. Even my birth certificate had been altered through connections my father had in local government. For weeks I refused their calls. I was angry not just about the lie but about what it represented parent their need to create a narrative that protected their image rather than honoring my truth. The transplant surgery was scheduled regardless of my emotional turmoil. The day before the procedure, I finally agreed to see them. My father came to my hospital room alone, looking older than I'd ever seen him. I know you may never forgive us, he said quietly, but I need you to know that giving you my kidney isn't about guilt or obligation. It's because from the moment I first held you, you became the most important person in my life. The surgery was successful. During recovery, my mother brought photo albums I'd never seen before. Part pictures of her holding me as a newborn, her eyes swollen from crying but her smile radiant. Pictures of my father teaching me to walk, to ride a bike, to drive. We lied about how you came to us, she said. We never lied about loving you. It's been 2 years. I am still working through the complicated emotions of discovering my origin story was built on deception. I've tried to find my biological mother, but she left explicit instructions never to be contacted. I am in therapy learning that family is both the people who share our DNA and the people who choose us every day. My father's kidney functions perfectly inside me, parent a biological truth that can coexist with the emotional truths I am still uncovering. Sometimes the lies we're told are meant to protect us. Sometimes they're meant to protect the people who tell them. The difference is part of growing up, even when it happens decades later than it should. If you want to know what happened when I finally found my biological mother through a DNA testing site last month, share this video and follow for part 2.